You like to describe me?
Yeah, yeah. Well, is this being like described as like by other people that are not cis white males?
Yeah, I don't like it. Not because it's necessarily inaccurate, but because I feel like it's used in a more hateful way than it needs to be. Maybe like I don't know. I usually hear that like being hissed, whether it's on the internet or not. Like it's
being
sort
hissed.
Maybe that's the wrong word for it, but just like it's usually said with some degree of vehemence and with some degree of intent to stir the pot. In some respects, not always, but yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just like I don't know. There's an element of it that's like trying to be progressive in terms of like pushing awareness for these things, but then there's an element of it where it's like, can't we all just view each other as people instead of, coming up with 15,000 labels for every exception to the rule? Can't we just stop categorizing exceptions?
Like, if you had to think about this, like, how do you think being white affects your future of being successful, attaining success? Do you think it will have an effect, positive or negative, or any effect?
Oh, I'm sure it'll give me a leg up in many respects. I mean, unless I'm like trying to cross the border into like Iran or something, then it'll probably be an issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think definitely I'm overwhelmingly going to have a leg up because of it.
And I guess it's like, how do you think about that? Is that something that like? How do you like think about that? Is that
I think of it, it's like, yeah, well, to me, it's there. I mean, you can go down the like white guilt route, but I don't feel like it's productive whatsoever. To me, it's like I need to be okay with myself. I need to be okay that I am, like a heterosexual white man in today's society. And every instance I remember that, and every instance that I can be grateful for the privilege I was given by luck of the draw, I need to consciously give back and try to share some of that. And I think that is very much like it feels like a duty to me to better educate myself over the course of my life and do everything I can to like contribute to like the equity of others.
Okay. Cool. I guess on like a same kind of note, like how do you think like being a man like affects your future of being successful?
It probably gives me a leg up too, generally speaking. I think that I'll definitely probably be better off as a result, but I do think that women as compared to like say like poor African American people are still probably going to have a leg up on them. So it's like being a man's a boost, but I would really like to see women reach that level, and I think that that's possible.
Okay. Just a couple more here. Do you think that there's any ways in which like white people are discriminated from attaining success in this country?
That's a funny question. I mean, look, you can zoom in on any little microcosm of anything and be like, well, here we're overwhelmingly like putting blacks in universities and white people are getting kicked out as a result.
So you're talking about affirmative action?
Sure.
Yeah.
But I guess to me, those minutiae are usually not true, and they say nothing about the general truth in America. Like, maybe in some small instances, white people are a little bit disadvantaged, but that pales in comparison to the amount of disadvantage that African Americans have suffered over the course of history, that women have, that people of color, that people of these ethnic minorities. So it's like maybe a tiny bit, but who cares?
Okay, cool. But I think affirmative action is something that comes up a lot in these interviews. while some people are really supportive of it, other people see problems in it. What do you think about this idea of like boosting equity through like race-based markers and focusing on that representation and like the focus on diversity in our institutions and education, compared to a merit-based system?
Totally. I feel like this is a tricky one. So I can see what's come up in interviews. Personally, I think that it sucks that we're here right now. It sucks that we've reached a place where some people are so obviously hyper-advantaged and so obviously disadvantaged. That is shitty, it shouldn't have happened, and it sucks that that's the reality. Mm-hmm. And in a perfect world, not only would that not be the case, but we wouldn't need to provide booster seats for anyone. In a utopian society, we should all operate on a merit-based system. However, I do think that in light of just in light of like an overall like historical precedent, we do need to do these things to help people of color get into college, to help disadvantaged people become more advantaged, because I mean, I'm sure you've heard this a million times, the whole analogy of the fence and like crates. Like, the fact of the matter is, we're not taking down a fence anytime soon. So, while nobody should really have to stand on milk crates to see, I think that I would rather see that than nothing. Mm. It's kind of a long-winded answer to say, like, it's a shitty truth, but like whatever means it's going to take to get people like equal opportunity.
Okay. Yeah. So equal opportunity is like important. I guess the counter to that would be like, is there any anxiety on your part that as a white man in this, as a white man, do you ever feel like, well, I'm at risk because we're like supporting equal opportunity? Is that something that you think about?
No.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, dude. Like, if you can show me an example where white men are actually going to be knocked off the top because of these, then yeah, maybe I'd be a little bit scared, but I also think that that's ridiculous.
Yeah. So
I'm not too worried about it. If that was the case, then great. We're probably closer to an equal merit system, and I know personally I can beat out a lot of other people, whether or not they're from like downtown Bronx or whatever. Like, I think that I personally would be able to succeed regardless. It's just yeah.
Okay, cool. I guess like the same question, but just like, do you think that like men are ever discriminated in any way from attaining success, maybe by way of just like our cultural moment, by way of affirmative action? Do you think this is something that like you think about, being like a man and
I don't
less opportunity?
I think that the way things are set up, you're never going to be like precluded from becoming as successful as someone else. The only example that pops into mind, even a little bit, is like double standards in terms of like sexual promiscuity or I don't know. That is almost unrelated because I don't think it has to do with success, but just the notion that like.
Well, yeah, they could come up and like work for sure.
Yeah, I think. I don't know, the fact that yeah, I don't know. I think that discriminated against is a strong word, and I hesitate very much to use it, but I think that there are double standards held against men, particularly by, any uber anarchist, uber feminist to, like, yeah, I think double standards that are propagated by extremism are stupid, not because they're about men, but because double standards propagated by extremism is a stupid thing.
Yeah, totally. Just briefly, I guess, can you think of any personal experiences when you were treated badly for being a white man? Just